The dead bug exercise is a central core exercise, and it's used by people with severe back pain, from disc herniations all the way through to being a great warm-up exercise that you can do whilst you're working out in the gym to build strength and stability in your lower back and activate your core ahead of things like squats and deadlifts. In today's video, we're going to show you how we teach this specific exercise so you can do it, get the most out of it, and really improve your back health right now and for the long term too. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Michael Fatika, the lead osteopath and spine specialist here at Back in Shape. And today we're going to go through the specific details of how we train the dead bug and teach it to both our members and patients here in the studio. If you've got lower back pain, then get onto your side first, like so, and then roll onto your back. It'll just be a little bit safer for you. And we want to start in this particular position here, okay? Note that there is a bit of a hollow underneath my lower back. My sacrum is touching the floor, or my glutes. My middle back is touching the floor, and my head is obviously touching the floor as well. And what I'm going to do is place my hands on my abdomen. My belly button is here, my pubic bone is down here. I'm pressing on this lower section of the core because that's the area that we're really interested in. And then I'm going to engage my core first, so nice and tight, without moving the spine at all. And then I'm going to bring one leg up, hold it nice and tight, the second leg up, hold it nice and tight. And then I simply lower one leg as far as I can, and then come back in towards middle position and repeat for the other leg. And all the time, as we're doing these reps, we're focusing on keeping that lower part of the belly button really, or lower part of the abdomen, really, really tight and engaged, preventing our spine from doing any movement whatsoever. And the reason we have our hands on the waist here is so we can feel if we lose any of the engagement, we'll find that our stomach sticks out or lifts up. And that means we've failed to engage the core, something we'll talk about a little later. So one more time, nice neutral position, a hollow in the lower back, hands on the waist, between the belly button and the spinal, and the pubic symphysis on the front, pubic bone. Press in a little bit with your hands, engage your core nice and tightly, feel it come on, and then up, up, re-engage if you lost it a little bit, and then 1, back in, 2, back in, 3, back in, and so on. Shooting, as we'll discuss later, for sets of 10. Next, we'll go through some common mistakes that are made. And one of the big ones, the way in which most people teach this exercise, is going to be using the hands and using a pelvic tuck. Now, we can just disregard the hands and arm movement in this exercise because really we want to focus on this lower part. And having the hands on the waist is so helpful in feeling extra feedback in that lower abdomen, the area that is adjacent to your L5-S1 and L4-5 segments of your lumbar spine, the two areas most commonly injured. When we're doing our dead bug and we're down on the floor, so many will teach to do a pelvic tuck, to flatten and engage, then lift, and then go. And the big problem with this is you're basically cheating. You're making it easier by flattening out the lumbar spine and engaging like so. And you're also learning that the only way you can engage your core is by flattening out that lumbar spine. And if we translate this to being upright, that is not a good movement hook that you want to develop. You're not learning to control a neutral spine. You're learning to just round your spine and resist and hold it, which is not advantageous if we have things like disc injuries in the lower back or just for general back health, period. This pelvic tuck is essentially a movement leak and something we discussed in a recent video, particularly if you're someone who's working out in the gym and wants to avoid back pain for the long term. Check out that video down there and learn why this movement leak is so particularly bad. But ultimately, we want to use this dead bug as an opportunity to learn how to protect and engage from a neutral spine. Holding our spine in neutral and eliminating the pelvic tuck is the way to do that. This next step is about making the exercises a little bit easier for you if you really struggle. Now that could be that you've got a really bad back injury, or it could be that you're just not very strong at this exercise. So here we're going to go through 3 regressions. And what that basically means is if you can't do the full exercise like I've demonstrated, you can do these to make it a little bit easier and then work your way up to try and do the full variation in time. Regression exercise number 1 is where we simply reduce the range of motion. So all the steps remain the same in terms of setting ourselves, engaging the core, neutral spine, etc. And then we bring our leg up one at a time. But in this instance, we're just going to do a reduced range of motion. It might be to here, okay, as we're doing our exercises, and that's all we can control. And what we're looking for when we do this exercise is a pain-free range of motion. A range of motion where we can maintain the good technique without, for example, going all the way down here and you can see my back's lifting up off the floor. That's not controlling my spine. And for those of you that don't have back pain but are allowing that movement, you're getting away with it, so don't. Really focus on doing it within your level of competence, even if that means that you're not experiencing pain but doing it badly. Do it right, it makes a difference long term. Now, if you couldn't do that last regression, this next one is a little bit easier. So again, get into position, set ourselves, engage the core, neutral spine, hollow in the lower back, and here we're just going to go up, and then down, down, up, down, down. All the while keeping your spine nice and neutral and without any rocking. Often, if you're struggling with the dead bugs, this first movement of bringing the second leg up is the area where you lose form and your pelvic rocks one way or another, or you lose the engagement. So really focus as you pick up that second leg of tightening the core and then lifting the leg. You'll find it works a lot better and you can steadily build up from here. Now, if you couldn't do that second regression, we've got a third one to make it a little bit easier for you to start out. And this one, we're simply going to lie on our back again, engaged, nice neutral spine. And all we're going to do here is engage really tightly, lift the one leg up, and then bring it back down. Lift the other leg up, and then bring it back down. Lift the other leg up, and bring it back down. And the other leg up, and bring it back down. And therefore, once we've got the right regression that we can do, let's suppose it's this one, we can go from this into this, into a half range, and then later on when we're ready, into a full range of the dead bug. We take it all the way from easy, all the way through to the right exercise. Ultimately, if you're getting any pain when you're doing this exercise and your spine is moving, then it's a lack of control. And one of the great things we can do is use a rolled up towel to allow us to get that extra sensor. It's kind of like having a reversing camera on your car. It just gives you that extra information. So what we're going to do here is roll the towel up about this thickness. It's not as big as the normal towel exercise that we recommend, and this is going to go to support our lower back. And what we're doing is we're lying on our back, we find that hollow that we had before, and we're just going to pop this little bit of support there. And all it is doing, the towel here, is you're aware of the pressure on your back. It's not supporting you like the normal towel exercise, and it's not pressing into your back or anything like that, but it should just be holding you in neutral. And this way, when you're doing any of the dead bug variations, you will feel if your back lifts off the towel, or you'll equally feel if you're inadvertently pressing into the towel, doing that pelvic tuck you've probably practiced time and time again in previous times you've tried this exercise. Ultimately, the towel just helps you do that one thing that is central to the dead bug, and that is maintain a neutral spine. And it just gives you that extra awareness in combination with your hands on the front of when you're losing form, losing control, and doing it wrong. There's going to be two avenues ultimately for you to use the dead bug to help your back specifically, and that depends on the current status quo in that lower back. If you've got a disc injury or sciatica right now, or you're struggling to recover from some sort of back injury, then the way in which we're going to go about using the dead bug is going to be starting off with the regression strategy that works best for us, that does not cause us pain, and then working to build through those variations that I've shown you towards the normal dead bug itself. You want to start off by trying to shoot for maybe 3 sets of 10 reps. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 5 on each leg, and really working on that core engagement. I've just demoed the exercise for you guys a couple of times here, not even doing a full 3 or 4 or 5 sets, and I can feel that my core's been firing up. Make sure you're engaging correctly before you even do the exercise. And if you struggle with this, then do check out the link in the description, because there's a full video that explains how to do the candle drill, which will help some of you that really struggle with that core engagement get it right. We discussed on a recent video how you can build on the dead bug if you're struggling to recover from back pain. And you can check that video out, the link in the description. It's 5 core exercises that are going to progress on from the dead bug once you've mastered it. And also you can check out, if you really are struggling with your lower back, the full Back in Shape Masterclass. And that, again, link in the description, which will give you a long-term strategy on how you can recover from lower back pain. Now, if you're the second kind of person, you've been watching this video and maybe you're looking at incorporating dead bugs as a way to warm up your back before you do some of the other exercises that are building your back strength and just health in general. Things like squats, barbell deadlifts, or barbell hip hinges, those sorts of exercises. And you want a strategy, such as the dead bug, to engage that core ahead of those workouts in combination with other activation exercises that you might do as part of your warm-up. For you, just working on some really strong engagements, like I've just been mentioning, as you're doing the dead bug ahead of your workout, and maybe going from 3 sets of 10 of the dead bugs into some other specific lightweight exercises. Let's just say you're warming up with the barbell doing deadlifts. You could do some of your light warm-up weights supersetted with a couple of reps of the dead bugs to really get everything activated and ready for your working sets. That's a great way that you can just feed in this exercise in a very simple manner to really enhance the way in which you work your back on other more challenging core exercises. Ultimately, whether you're looking to recover from a serious back injury or whether you're going to be using this exercise to bolster your long-term back health exercises and workouts that keep your body in shape, this dead bug is a great exercise. Hopefully you found this video helpful and something you can refer back to in the future if you're struggling. And remember, you can always share this particular video with someone else who's been struggling with their lower back, or maybe a recommendation of a training partner because they find maybe their back bothers them a little bit when they're doing some of those squats or deadlifts. Consider sharing it with them. Hopefully it helps, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.